If you are a print-on-demand seller looking to make full-time profit in your print-on-demand business, then you need to be selling on Etsy. If you've been selling on other print-on-demand platforms or have just been hesitant to start selling on Etsy, don't worry, you are certainly not alone. I was you for way too long. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the top reasons that you need to be selling on Etsy, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be encouraged to run and start your own shop or revamp an old one that you've not been spending a lot of time working on. Etsy is a huge moneymaker, and by not starting my Etsy shop sooner, I left so much profit on the table that I wish I could go back and start over sooner. I'm Hannah, and on this channel I talk about all things print on demand and making passive income, so if that's something you're interested in, subscribe down below for new videos every single week. In my own experience and from hearing from other print on demand sellers, a lot of times the biggest drawback that people think about Etsy is that it's going to be a lot more work than some of the other print on demand platforms that you just upload your artwork to and you're good to go. But just because Etsy has a little bit of a higher barrier of entry, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be selling on this platform. I actually think it's one of the reasons that you really should be selling on Etsy. Now that I've gotten several different Etsy shops up and successfully running, making regular sales and tons of profit every single month, I really wish I could have gone back and started sooner when I began my print on demand journey. And I think Etsy is an amazing option, especially as places like Amazon Merch are becoming very selective in who they're going to allow into their platform. So if that's you, you've been trying to get into Amazon Merch, Etsy might be the next best thing, or it might even be better than Amazon Merch. Now let's get on to those reasons you need to be selling on Etsy in 2023. The first reason you should definitely be selling on Etsy this year, and why there's no reason not to, is because there is no application process. Like I just mentioned, in 2022, we saw that so many people were getting rejected from Amazon Merch. It seems like year after year, the program is getting more full and more people are getting rejected to be able to sell on that platform. So Etsy is another great option. And since there's no application process, you can set up your account and literally have items uploaded to sell by the end of today. I actually have an entire video where I walk you through step by step how to do that. So if you do want to start your own shop, this is going to walk you through how to create an Etsy store, how to integrate it with a print provider like Printify. That is a great resource for you guys to have. Really, the amazing thing is, no matter what your experience with print on demand, you can have a store up and running in no time. You're not going to have to wait for anybody to approve you. You can just start making profit right away. The next reason you need to be selling on Etsy is because with how good print providers have gotten in the past few years, Etsy is now almost 100% passive for you as a seller. Gone are the days where you had to manually create, make, package, ship every single item for your Etsy store. Today, you can integrate your own Etsy store with a print-on-demand manufacturer who is going to create your orders, they're going to print them, they're going to package them, they're going to ship them, and they will take care if there is any problems, making this almost 100% passive for you after you create the listings and deal with the customer service. The production partner that I've been using has been Printify, which is why I'm super excited because they are the sponsor of today's video. Printify is a network of a bunch of different print-on-demand manufacturers that they kind of act as the middleman for. So the awesome thing is, no matter what type of product you wanted to sell, you'd be able to go to Printify and they would find the item for you. What I didn't love on some of the other platforms that I've tried is a lot of times they wouldn't have the item I'm looking for, that maybe they didn't have jewelry, they didn't have candles, or something more unique that's not just a shirt. And so I would have to create a totally different account with a new print provider that did have that item. But on Printify, you have one account on their site, and then you have your Etsy account, and those are pretty much all you need to sell hundreds of different types of products and make this a really passive business model. What I also love about Printify is they are completely free to get started and use. You are not limited to what types of products you can do with that free account. But if you do start making a lot more sales, they do have a premium option where you're going to get up to 20% off of all of your items. So I'll have their information linked down in the description below if you do want to check them out and make your free account. I actually do have a tutorial walking you through exactly how to create your Etsy shop and how to create your account on Printify and link those together to make this really passive. A lot of times I think people are scared of doing Etsy because they think it's going to be so much more work than some of those other print-on-demand sites. But with a partner like Printify, that's really not the case, and it makes things super simple. The next reason that you really need to be selling on Etsy, if you're not already, is that they are the second biggest print-on-demand marketplace that's out there. Besides Amazon on Etsy is really going to be the main place that people are going to be coming to look for really unique t-shirts and apparel that they know they couldn't get at one of the bigger box stores or in person. Etsy has really made a great name for themselves, being the go-to spot to find super one-of-a-kind items that you probably couldn't find somewhere else. While a shopper knows that they can't just go to Target and find a pickleball meets cat mashup t-shirt, that is a niche that you could definitely search on Etsy, and there's probably listings for that. Etsy has amazing brand recognition, and that is really going to help you because some of these other sites, they're not household names yet, whereas Etsy and Amazon, those are two of the biggest online e-commerce platforms that people think of when they are going to look for gifts or other items that they want for themselves. The amazing thing about that is Etsy is already getting so much traffic, so you are not having to do any of the work on finding the customers to buy your listings. You can certainly utilize social media and bring some of your own traffic, but most of the stores on Etsy that are successful are getting so much organic traffic just from Etsy bringing them their customers. And to piggyback right off of that, the next reason that you really need to be selling on Etsy is because of the type of buyers that they're going to attract. I think the recipe for success in print on demand, especially early on, is to be spread out on a few different sites. And what I love about Etsy is that their shoppers are going to be so different than a shopper who is automatically going to go to Amazon. Etsy has really cultivated something where they are the go-to spot for handmade items, for really unique specialty things that are known for their quality and for their uniqueness. So that is going to attract a certain type of buyer as opposed to someone who's just looking for the best deal on Amazon. Selling on Etsy in addition to another platform really helps you capitalize on selling to two different types of customers and breaking into way more niches than you'd be able to with just one. Etsy shoppers are typically looking for something with a very certain look, so a lot of times I find that one shirt that is a bestseller for me on Amazon, it doesn't really translate the same way to Etsy, but something that sells all the time on Etsy might not sell on Amazon. So that way, if you're putting all of your listings on these multiple different sites, you're giving your items the best chance to find the perfect buyer who wants that particular item. That's another reason you should be selling on Etsy too. The next reason you should be selling on Etsy is because you're not going to be limited to the type of products that you can sell on their platform. If you're selling on a place like Redbubble or Amazon or TeePublic, you can only sell what items that they are actually providing you. But with Etsy, integrated with a print provider, the sky is the limit of what product that you can sell through your print-on-demand Etsy shop. Another thing that I love about Printify is that they have access to over 800 different products. They have those normal things you're looking for like t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, but they also have some really more unique items that not a lot of people are selling on other platforms like candles. They have ornaments, they have blankets, pillows, keychains, whatever you could think of. Printify probably has a product that you could sell on your Etsy shop. A lot of times I find that it's really hard to break into some of those more saturated niches on things like t-shirts and sweatshirts, but if you can take some of those bigger niches and put them on a more unique product or even a tumbler or a wine chiller, you can actually stand out in the crowd. I love being able to offer a lot of different types of products on my Etsy store. I've also seen million-dollar stores pop up that are only selling one very specific type of specialty item. For example, an entire store dedicated to just one type of wine chiller. You can go that route, or you can just have the ability to have a lot of different options through Printify in your Etsy shop. The next reason I really think you should be selling on Etsy, and this is a good one, is because the profit margin is almost always going to be higher than other sites that you could sell on. Like I mentioned before, the brand recognition that Etsy has already created for you works wonders in your favor. Customers know when they're coming to Etsy, they're looking for a more unique product that is going to come at a premium price. If customers already have in the back of their mind that this is an item they're not going to find anywhere else, that's the perfect gift for someone they're looking for, or just something they've really been wanting, they are willing to spend a lot more than on another site. Especially a place like Amazon, they have kind of created a brand around being one of the best price places to shop. So customers are always looking to get a deal. However, when they're coming to Etsy, they're already knowing that they're probably going to pay a little bit more. So that really works works in your favor. I see all the time sweatshirts are selling for up to $50 on a place like Etsy, making that a huge chunk of profit for you. And if you're working with a print provider like Printify, who has the lowest prices that I personally have seen for a print provider, you are going to make even more profit on your items. For example, Printify's Bella and Canvas shirts start around $10. So if you're pricing those at upwards of $20 or $25, you are going to make a healthy chunk of profit on each sale that you make. So with Etsy, since the profit tends to be a little bit higher, you actually have to sell less items to make the same amount of profit that you might somewhere else. And again, if you're selling some of those more unique items that you can't find on a place like Amazon, like a blanket, for example, you can easily sell something like that for $50 or $40 and make $10 to $20 in profit for just a single sale. If this year you're really ready to either revamp your Etsy store, integrate it with Printify, or just try an Etsy store for the first time, I know you're not going to be disappointed. And I actually want you to watch this tutorial here where I'm going to walk you through step by step how easy it is to create your account on Printify and to integrate that with Etsy and create your first listings. I go through everything super detailed. You definitely want to watch that if you're thinking about creating an Etsy store this year. And I will link Printify down in the description below so you can create your free account. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.